I've got your Bassmaster Elite Tools of the Trade here from Lake Eufaula. Just came back here not long ago. We just posted all the fish catch footage. So if you missed it, there it is. All the fish catch footage. You can check that out. And here are all the tools that I used to do that with. All those fish catches. Ended up 53rd. Slipped a little bit on the second day. Had 17 pounds the first day. And it was right there in the cut, close to the 40 mark. And then the second day only had 13 pounds. I only had 2 decent fish, and I caught a bunch of 2-pounders and couldn't really cull up. So that's the way it went down. But my number one bait that I was starting out with is the old SPRO popping frog. This is a color, I believe they call it Spec. It's like just like a minnow color. It's got a little orange deal on the bottom of it. I really like this frog. The grass that I was fishing was a little sparse, and it was in open water, and there was a little ripple on the water. Whenever that situation's going on, you have a little turbulence on top of the water. That popping frog causes a little more commotion. I think they can find it a lot easier, and they were absolutely trashing it when they would get it. And I had that tied onto 50-pound Sunline X Plasma. That is my frog line. That is it's my favorite braid for doing anything with a bait caster, hands down. That 50-pound, you could put the absolute total wood to them, and that's what I had on there. The rod I was using, this was my backup. It was why this other colored frog was on there. I didn't actually throw that in the tournament, that frog, but that was the one that I had, the frog rod from Cash and Rods. It's a 7-foot heavy action. You can just totally put the absolute throttle wood to them, and when they bite that popping frog, man, just reel up your slack and crack them as hard as you can crack them. If you couldn't see, Daiwa Tatula 100, and that's the high speed. That's the 8-to-1 gear ratio reel. A lot of times those fish will get it and they'll come running at you, and I like that high speed reel because you can catch up to them and then just absolutely jack them. And you're doing all the moving, the lifting with the rod, so you're moving all the fish with the rod. The reel just helps you gather that slack a lot quicker. Okay, so that was my number one. My number two, I moved off the bank. Most all the other fish I caught were off the bank. And I would say that my next biggest tool was the new Missile Baits Quiver 6.5, but I got my hands on the new Red Bug Candy color. And if y'all don't know, now I'm wearing all red because in the summertime, the fish in most of the southern impoundments love a red worm for some reason. I don't know what the deal is with that. It goes way back to, Lake Eufaula, Mann's Bait Company, that strawberry colored Mann's jelly worm. I don't know what it goes back to, but by golly, they really like that red worm, and that is a hot one. I was using a stand-up jig head. This is not I broke off all the ones I was using in the tournament, and this was the next one I had. But it's just a stand-up shaky head like this. I don't remember, I think it was a Dirty Jigs, the one I was actually using in the tournament. It's a 5/16 in the tournament. Had that tied to 14-pound Sunline shooter. That's the old Sunline shooter. That's the line that I like for, doing any casting with worms, flipping, anything like that. I like that shooter. But the 14-pound was what I had it on. 7-foot Cash and Elite Series rod. It was a heavy action. It's the old M8447. That's the model number. So that's the heavy action, 7-foot, and I've caught a pile of fish on it. Also, Daiwa Tatula 100 was the reel there. I had to finesse a few the first day, and I had to finesse a few on the second day. The first day, I caught a bigger fish on the drop shot. This was on the Cash and Rods, John Cruz drop shot rod, 7-foot 4-inch. It's a medium, it's a moderate medium heavy, I believe, action, and had a 10-pound Sunline Sniper leader, the 10-pound leader of the Sniper. And I had that on to the, you can see the braid there, 12-pound Sunline X Plasma braid. That's my dealie. Had a Gamakatsu hybrid, G-Finesse hybrid worm hook, 2/0 on that. And that is a new color called the Hillbilly Magic. I caught one on that the second day. The first day, I caught a good fish that ended up weighing in the deal on the orange green pumpkin core. Also another one of the new colors, and I didn't bring one over here. Sorry about that. But I had, as you can see, it's a lighter sinker. But I was throwing that. No, I think it's an 1/8 ounce tungsten sinker, and had a shorter, about a 6-inch leader on that. That was caught one good one the first day, and caught one I think I might have ended up kept on the second day. And then each day I also caught fish on the Neko rig. This is the G-Finesse Stinger hook. That's a number 1. It's the weedless version. I really like the weedless version on that. Had the same 10-pound sniper on the leader and the same 12-pound on that. That's a Daiwa ballistic reel. I really like that reel. It's a nice reel. And then I had the Missile Baits quiver, 6.5. This was GP3 was the color I like. It's a very good bluegill looking color. I had that on there. And then I had the Missile Bait Neko weight on there. I had a 1/8 ounce there. I just had that inserted into the, had that inserted into the head of the worm. Just like that right there. Had that inserted there in there. And I was fishing that anywhere from 4 to 20 feet deep. Most of the fish I caught were in that 12-foot range. But just had it hooked in the middle. Kind of like so right there. Just had it hooked right in the middle. That's how I caught some of those fish. If you look back at that other video with all the fish catches, you can see how all that went down. But that's the fish catch, or those are the 4 main baits that I caught the fish on. That Neko rig, I was throwing it out. That 1/8 ounce, it will get down to the bottom and stay there. We have lighter weights. We have a 16th and a 32nd ounce. Those are really the main 3 that I use. I use a 3/16, some deep water applications, but most of the time I'm using that 1/8 ounce offshore, either a 16th or 8th. At Eufaula, I was using the 1/8 ounce. I can get that thing out there. Now I was pulling it through some brush piles, pulling it through some rockier areas, and I was keeping it up off the bottom some as well, just kind of shaking it and reeling it at the same time. And most of the fish I caught was when that bait went down to the bottom, and then I was just kind of shaking it, almost drag shaking it, and man, they would just knock slack in it, and you reel up and you catch them. I caught those, and I did catch one 3-pounder on the first day on a Carolina rig with a Baby Destroyer on there. Baby Destroyer is one of my absolute favorites with the Carolina rig, but I only caught one fish in the tournament on it. It was a 3-pounder, but that was the only one that I caught on it. So if you have any other questions, be sure to comment down there. And again, if you missed all the action, I'll throw it right there for you at the end so you can check all that out. But I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this, you enjoyed seeing all this, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. Thanks.